Hi guys, Veggie Gamer back, and I'm sorry these are taking me so long to get out. The problem is, guys, the way that I've got this set up is that I kind of had to get the last episode recorded before I could post the first one. I can't explain why. It's a difficult situation, guys, but I need to get through these. I'm going to attempt to keep these a bit shorter. Last episode, I thought, okay, we'll wrap off the second one. It will get over really fast. I recorded for over half an hour, guys. I had no idea, and so I am desperately trying to keep these a bit shorter now, so I apologise. I will be missing, skipping, scenes which aren't incredibly important. My green screen's doing something really odd at the moment. Okay, if this keeps on changing every few seconds, I apologise, guys. I'm not going to be able to do anything about it. So, here we go, guys. We start off with episode 5 of the future arc. And we see Seiko, who's, I believe, the only new character I actually remember the name of. As a young child, walking down the street, she sees, unfortunately, a poor little pupper getting hit by a motorcycle, I think. I'm a little bit confused because the dog has has a puppy, and then well, I should say, then the dessert girl comes along with the blacksmith, saying that that Seiko saved her puppy. I'm a little bit confused by that, but it doesn't matter anyway. So this is obviously when they first met. Seiko is obviously a character who is extremely lonely and doesn't have any friends. I've got to say, guys, Seiko really has become my favourite of the new characters. I got to say, I went off the wheelchair girl as soon as we had the reveal. And yeah, I feel like it was revealed way too early that it's Monica, in my opinion. I get the impression that the way these episodes work is that they feel the need to have like a big, not a twist, but a big event at the end of each episode. And so revealing that it was Monica that early did seem a bit odd. I don't know why. My green screen may not be doing anything for you guys, but it keeps on changing colour for me, which is really odd. So we established that the pharmacy girl is allergic to sugar, I believe, and that's why she's never accepted a treat off the dessert girl. I kind of presumed that it was because maybe the dessert girl was doping other people somehow, but no, it is actually that she will actually die if she was to actually try one of the sweets, which actually sets up a really nice dynamic, which we'll go into in a bit. But then we have the blacksmith doing some blacksmithy things, setting a trap for Seiko, who is still a massive cat lady. And yeah, it looks like they're about to have a bombing when all these lights come on around them. Straight away, Seiko is able to smell where the dessert girl is and just hightails it towards her. Unfortunately, revealing her weakness, which is no one can step in her shadow. That sucks for her. That's a really bad one. That's why she's been on her own throughout this thing. So she's in a room where she's casting a lot of shadows at the moment. So obviously she's in like a very weak position. And Blacksmith leaves to go, I guess, to go and get a weapon. Another weapon. So we're left with Seiko and the dessert girl having a chat. We also see a bit of Yu Narukami and the old guy. I probably said it in the second episode, guys, but for the longest time, until literally last night, I thought that this genuinely was Kyoko's dad. Grandfather, I should say. So yeah, I apologise about the waffle that I said in the first 2 episodes. Yes, because I will be giving a disclaimer in that one. I gotta say, I don't fully understand what actually went on with these two. It seems like the old guy was working against them in a way, but not working with the remnants of despair. His tag is that he actually can't tell a lie, which is actually very cool. I like that. That is a pretty difficult one to deal with. I guess it depends who you're speaking with. Yeah, I'm skipping all over the place here, guys. But yes, it turns out that he does know who the attacker is, and he reveals it to Yu Narukami, but we don't actually hear what it is that they say. Back to Seiko and Dessert Lady. I can't remember. I need to learn these names. I really do. I do feel. I really like the flashback stuff between them, because it looks like they genuinely were good friends, which I didn't think was the case originally. Seiko takes some sort of special injection that makes her absolutely incredibly psychotic and huge, and she starts smashing through the window where the dessert girl is. She's like behind this glass window, I should say. I feel like this bit was a bit of a missed opportunity. I gotta say, guys, this episode, which is gonna be 5 and 6 of both arcs, it's gonna be ups and downs. Some stuff I really liked in it, more than the rest of the show that we've seen so far, and then some bits I genuinely feel were a miss in my opinion. But we'll get to those soon enough. So, the bit which I think is a bit of a shame like this, we have this internal dialogue whilst Seiko is smashing through the glass, and it's showing their you're hearing their perspectives. Like, she's saying, you basically used me my entire life, and the dessert girl is like saying that I idolized you, I really loved you, and I wanted to do something in return, but the only thing that I was good at was cooking and these sweets, and obviously she can't have the sweets, and so it made for this really nice dynamic. I do feel like with the dessert girl, it's a shame that they didn't leave that until a later episode for that to actually come out about her. The fact that she actually, the reason why she wanted to give the dessert is because it is the only thing that she was actually good at, and she wanted to give that to her best friend, but the best friend literally couldn't accept the one thing that the dessert girl is good at. I feel like that should have been a scene between her and another character, with her explaining that later on. It just seemed really rushed. It seemed like, okay, this is the scene for these two characters, and after that, done. That's what it felt like to me. I feel like we didn't need to hear that aspect of her internal dialogue at that point. I think that it would have been saved better to have it later on, where you then see the blacksmith guy finding a secret room whilst trying to choose a weapon out of a gun or something, which is interesting. Yeah, the boxer guy is still chasing after Makoto. Like I say, there's some stuff which I don't need to cover on this. Yeah, and when the old guy reveals who the attacker is, it's the first bit which literally went, oh! I swore when it happened. Yunakami and him both attack each other at the same time. It is brutal. And yes, Yunakami's lost an eye, and the old guy is finally dead. And so I do feel like I missed some... I don't fully understand what his role was in it, but he knew who the attacker was. Very, very sad scene as Seiko is sitting down on her own. This is the definition of despair, guys, this scene. Where, like, she's like saying, why did I ruin all this? Like, why couldn't I just have like kept the friendship and everything? And she lays down on her own. Very, very, very sad scene, and sadly she is the one who gets killed next. Oh my goodness, that was heartbreaking, guys. It was very well done, I've got to say that. It was extremely well done. It was just really sad, you know. I do tend to gravitate towards downtrodden characters, and she's done in a good way. Mikan, obviously, in my opinion, is not so much, but I really felt terrible for Seiko. And we barely even saw her. She really hasn't been in this that much, and yet she is my favourite of the new characters. The relationship between her and the dessert girl does remind me of Persona 4 to an extent. Chie and Yukiko. Obviously, Chie and Yukiko are clearly very, very good friends, but there is an underlining where they're both bitterly jealous of each other. And it did remind me of that a little bit. Like I say, I would have preferred the dessert girl to have that dialogue at another time where it's revealed that she was a friend. She just couldn't do anything in return. It was take, because she wasn't able to give Seiko anything, which is it's heartbreaking, it really is. But yeah, there we go. That's that episode done. Moving over to the Despair arc. Now, so talking about downtrodden characters, guys, moving over to the Despair arc, we see the ultimate animator as a young child again, getting bullied and then like escaping to his own world in watching anime, which I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. This whole thing of him obsessing about it, trying to give the world hope through his animation, which he escaped into, really reminds me of something, and I can't put my finger on it, but yes, he's like very like that's why he's so stressed. He's like he's desperate to get the work out. He's not looking after himself. He's not eating properly. I really like this character, I gotta say. The teacher is now out of teaching the other classes and is now returning to the Remnants of Despair class. We have a very nice scene where she comes back into the classroom. She's worried that no one will remember her, but they're all like really delighted to see her back. We have Hayako being really tall now. Well, at least tall as the rest of them now. Which kind of confused me, because I thought that, like, surely... Well, no, at no point did it say in Danganronpa 2 that they are all reverting back to a certain point. They could be reverting back to different points, because obviously Garnham still doesn't look quite as he should. And so on. And so, yeah, she's back teaching them again. I gotta say, guys... When I am going to do this whole all characters overall list eventually. That's going to take a long time. From all Danganronpa list, like ranking them all. The Ultimate Imposter is going right up, guys. I really like him. He's he's like a real decent guy, you know, which is rare in this game. You know, it's like Makoto's like all about hope, not Tanaka, Taka is like very, very moral and everything, but the Ultimate Imposter is just a good chap. The sad thing is that we still don't know much about him, but he is essentially looking after the animator as he works, and that's why he's dressed as up as the animator. Before that, he was dressed up as Byakuya, which I don't get yet. Maybe that'll be explained at some point in this, but I don't understand why he would be dressed as Byakuya yet, because the Danganronpa 1 class, actually I haven't started at Hope's Peak yet. That actually starts at the end of this episode, in fact. We see a lady getting out of a car and leaving a tip, or well, her purse in the back of it. Turns out it explodes, and of course it's Junko Veggie. So we've finally been introduced to Junko. I'm not completely convinced by her voice in the English dub. But then again, you know, Junko, she puts on a lot of different voices, and so maybe it's just like the episodes I've seen so far of her. One thing which I gotta say I don't like, guys, and I'll try not to be too negative here. I feel like they've kind of ruined Makuru's character. Makuru, to me, in the first game, obviously we barely even met her, but she is this extremely creepy, intimidating force. Obviously, she's a very, very skilled fighter as well, but there's something scary about her. That, to me, has been completely thrown away in Danganronpa 3. Of the 2 episodes with her that I've seen, maybe that changes later on, but she's essentially Seiko, Toko, Mikan, this very downtrodden yes woman, I guess you'd say. I felt that was a real shame. I thought she was, because I was hoping to see Junko's craziness balanced against an absolutely stoic, scary, almost angry individual. Sinister. It's sinister is the word I'm looking for. That's not here. She's just mopey, and she's able to do lots of cool things. She's a badass, but that is not revealed but it's not put over in her personality at all. I felt that was a shame, guys. You go and look at the images in Danganronpa 1, the photos I saw of her. There is something actually scary about her presence. Not here at all. That's my opinion, guys. Please let me know your opinions in the comments. I'm sure that I'm going to be in the minority for that. But I did feel like she was a bit of a letdown, which is, I've been waiting the longest time to see some more Makuru when we come back. Yeah, in my opinion. Oh yeah, talking about Mikan, actually. The ultimate animator collapses, and the ultimate imposter goes and gets Mikan. Very smart move. Very smart move. There's an awkward scene where she thinks that she's gonna get killed, and when he says that he's not gonna kill her, she then offers to whatever. She does a Mikan. Is basically what I'm saying. But yeah, I really like the animated character. I really like the imposter now. I gotta say, guys, he has gone up several points. I mean, he was on like space 14, I think I put him. You have to go and see my top 16 Danganronpa 2 characters for nice, but I think I put him in 14 just because we didn't see much of him. But he's a really cool guy. He's like a really decent chap. So yes, I should say Junko picks up Mikuru from the airport. There's a very funny scene actually when they're in this ridiculously long limousine, and Junko's just talking to Mikuru, but she's trying to like stab her with like an ice pick at the same time. That's actually hilarious. But like Mikuru's so good that she's just like deflecting everything. I just wish that she was scary. And then we end off, I believe, with Hajime getting put into the pod that's going to make him the ultimate guys. Thinking a lot about Chiaki. I think I know where this is going. I think we all know where this is going with Chiaki, guys. Is that I don't think that she's going to survive this series. And that's why they chose her image to try and revert the students back, the person who was bringing them all together. Very smart move by Makoto, I should say, not the Future Foundation. But yeah, that's the end of that episode. Really, really enjoyed this one. Back to the future arc, VEGGIEKNIGHTS. Captain Frizz is outside and he uses his his medium abilities. Not medium, clairvoyant, whatever it is, psychic abilities to estimate what's going on inside the building, and he believes that everyone's like holding hands and all getting on, which is amazing. That's the most Captain Frizz thing ever. I should have said at the end of the other feature episode that we see Yu Narukami with a veil like putting something into him, and it makes his eyes go black. So presumably, well, I mean, he's obviously being hinted at he's the one who took out Seiko. But then again, you can never trust anything, guys. The first thing he does in this episode actually is plunge his sword into the teacher character's body, which is obviously very, very suspicious. But again, I presume it has something to do with his wristband, but we shall see. All the bodies that have been found so far have had a single dagger to the heart, I believe. Yes, that is correct, isn't it? And then other things like around him, like the ballpoint hanging down and everything. Talking about that, Kayako is investigating all the bodies around at this point. There's a horrible dream sequence, and it was obviously a dream sequence from the very, very first second, where Makoto believes that Kayako is dead. But yeah, it was a very upsetting image, but it was obviously a dream from the very, very first second. So yeah, then they find the blacksmith guy who's also dead. I thought that maybe he was playing possum, but no, he is actually dead, guys. I feel sorry for anyone who really liked this character. I think the great thing with Danganronpa is that there's people who like all the characters. Like, there's fans of each character. This guy really did not get much of a send-off, guys. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's like Taka in Danganronpa 1. He was a part of such an elaborate plot that he didn't really get a send-off like the other characters did, in my opinion. So yes, Kayako, the animator, and the dude with the hat, who seems to be enjoying... I get he's meant to be relaxed, okay, but it is getting a bit much now. Okay, someone's just subscribed, thank you very much. Who is it? But yes, he's still following around Kayako and the animator. They don't want him to, but he just is. Doobie-doobie-doo. Oh yes, Makoto, Hina, and the wheelchair. I should just say Monica. Find out that the old guy has passed away, and Makoto. And it really hits Makoto really hard. Gotta say, not a big fan of this bit because it's kind of like, Makoto's been defeated, and then Monica, like, tries to like cheer him up. It's kind of like saying, well, technically Monica could have just won here, but. I guess her plan needs Makoto to, like, you know, to still have some hope, because there is no despair without hope, I guess you'd say. But yeah, well, that's the other thing. So yes, we have the dessert girl meeting up with the Kayako's group, and yeah, like saying that she needs help. Oh yeah, we see Byakuya. I forgot about that. So Byakuya is outside. Obviously, he's like is somewhere else. and like he's talking about bringing in help and so on and so forth. He knows that that Monica is in control. Well, at least he knows that someone is in control of the wheelchair girl, but he doesn't let Makoto and Hina know, which is actually very, very smart. No, I'm sure he says Monica. And so yeah, it's nice to see Bayek here. Not a fan of his new voice actor. It's completely different from the original. Why? I can't. It's a shame the original voice actor wasn't available. But yeah. So I'm glad that he's here now. Oh yeah, of course. And we see Toko and oh god, come on, Veggie. It has not been that long. Makuro? No, that's Makuro's. Oh god. Okay, we see Makoto's sister. Sorry guys, I've screwed up these names something rotten, haven't I? Arguing about forcing Toko to shampoo her hair or something. But yes, they're getting involved. God knows in what capacity they're getting involved, but apparently they're going to be getting involved in the story, guys, which is nice. It's nice to see everyone getting involved in this. And is this the episode we end off with Hajime? It is, and we see a massive fleet of ships heading towards Jabberwock Island. And what appears to be Hajime, although he seems to be evil, Izuru, I should say, is standing waiting for them, saying that it's boring. And so maybe they have just like reverted back to being the remnants of despair. Although Hajime's mind was wiped when they left the machine, and so he would be Izuru. Yes, that would make sense. So maybe the rest of them, maybe the rest of them have been done in, or I guess we'll find out next time. So that's the end of that episode, guys. Moving over to the other Despair episode. And this one did have some scenes which I did not like in it, guys. I'm going to keep it brief because I know being negative about these things isn't great. It's just my opinion though, and I really hope that you give your opinion. So we start off with, I'm actually scrolling through it. That's why I had to stall a little bit. But yes, we have Hajime's pod opening, and he has long hair, which is interesting. So the hair is actually a part of this being the ultimate person. It's not just that was his old haircut. I presumed that was his haircut before he got even put into the program, but obviously not. I think that the thing which I kind of don't like about it is that this really wasn't focused on the remnants of the spare characters at all. It stopped in with them briefly. Like Ibuki challenges Peko and Fuyuhiko, saying, hey, what the heck is going on between you two? And like Gundam Tanaka and Hayako have like a little argument. Then that's kind of it. We have Chiaki asking the teacher if she knows anything about what's happened to Hajime, and yeah, obviously the teacher feels guilty about knowing that something's going on, or wants to find out as well. In fact, it looks like the boxer has romantic interests in the teacher as well, which is interesting. I haven't picked up on that at all up to this point. But yeah, he looks like annoyed that she's in love with Yunarikami and not him. We have the teacher breaking into Hook's Peak to like find out data, presumably on Hajime and what's happened to him. Finds out about this new project that's being done and what's actually, what's going on with it. So presumably she's going to attempt to expose the truth on that. We then have I've really screwed up these names. I'm like Danganronpa. Yes, it is Makuru. Okay, so Makuru and Junko taking out some guards, and they break into where I should start saying Izuru is, and I did not like this scene at all, guys. It felt like it went on forever, and it was just the hope is the hope, is the despair, the hope is the despair. I worry that the English translations of the games and the anime is missing the point to some point, because I just get lost in what they're saying. They just seem to be saying waffle. But like, I think that's possibly my problem with Nagato, in fact. I don't think that I actually had a problem with Nagato. It was just the fact that I didn't understand what the heck he was on about. And so Junko says despair around 50 billion times, and then apparently Hajime is on her side now. I don't know, but either way, this is the only thing which I really did like so far, guys. It keeps on showing her bum for some reason whatsoever. I also don't like the fact that Makuro already has been defeated in combat against someone. It's like, oh great, okay, the ultimate soldier, that's that done then. But then again, he's meant to be the ultimate though, so I guess it does kind of make sense. But yeah, I did not like this scene, guys. I felt like an Ice Age. It probably wasn't. It was probably like a minute long. But I didn't understand what they were talking about. When they start just saying abstract things about hope and despair, I get lost, guys. That's my rant over. Moving on with the rest of the episode, we see more about from the imposter and the animator. Love their dynamic. More of that would be delightful. Junko wakes up from hospital and then goes for her first day at Hope's Peak, like the entrances ceremony. So presumably we're going to see all the Danganronpa 1 characters in the next episode. And she has some sort of interest in the animator. I don't know why. I'm guessing there must be some sort of reason, but I guess we'll find out soon because she like hugs him, and even Makuro's like, "What the heck are you doing?" I think. But yeah, that's the end of that episode. Sorry about the rant there, guys. You know what? I probably just need to watch the scene again to understand what was going on. But when any character, and obviously Nagato's like the most guilty of it, when they just start saying stuff about hope and despair, which doesn't make sense, it loses me. And so I'm hoping that's the end of that. So apparently Hajime is now on Junko's side because she said despair 50 billion times. Enough waffle, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope I managed to keep this a little bit shorter. I will try to keep them shorter in the future. Like I say, I did like a couple of the scenes in these episodes, but the first two episodes, the 5 of each arc, possibly my favourite episodes so far. So this review is really the best and the worst so far of this series. So I hope you enjoyed listening to my opinion, and please give me yours in the comments. Please like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm VEGGIEKNIGHTS. I hope the green screen and the lighting was okay in this video, because God knows what happened. And I'll see you next time.